Good morning YouTube, I'm OGF. This is the Continental GT 650. We are gonna ride it today. Our route for today is from Vagator to Dona Paula. Isn't really far from here, but it should give us an idea of how this motorcycle performs on the highway. And yeah, I'm looking to see how well it handles as well, because a lot of people have been saying that the Continental GT handles better than the Interceptor, and going by the way the Interceptor handled yesterday, looking forward to this one. The main changes in terms of performance with this motorcycle is primarily just the suspension. I think it's been set up a little stiffer from what I hear. Apart from that, it's pretty much the same bike, same frame, same engine. Handlebars are different and just a few other components which make the motorcycle the Continental GT. Otherwise it's essentially the same bike. You can just swap on a few parts from the Interceptor and you've got yourself an Interceptor. Right then, enough talking for today, let's get riding. See ya. Today's pack is a little more than what we had yesterday. Yesterday being just Zohair and me. Today we've got Ride with Raj, we've got formerly known Racer Chick 11, who's now Pratiksha Naidu on Instagram, and we've got the Indian biker as well, who has an Instagram page which I'll link in the description of this video, and you see it on the screen right now. We've also got another influencer, but I don't know where she is. Racer girl, racer lady, I keep forgetting, but I'll put her Instagram link or Instagram account on the screen right now as well. Raj, Zohair, the Indian biker, and me have the Continental GT. Pratiksha and Rihanna have the Interceptor. We're going to say bye to the W Hotel, which has been really nice to stay at. Thank you again to Royal Enfield for arranging this for us. It's been a very memorable stay, to say the least. The reason we're taking these bikes to Dona Paula is to drop them off over there at the Royal Enfield showroom, so that other potential customers or people who've already booked their bikes, if they've already done that, can come and actually experience the motorcycles themselves. There'll be 50 bikes, if I'm not mistaken, from what I heard over the discussion at the breakfast table earlier today at Dona Paula, and I think about 10 bikes at Rider Mania as well. So plenty of test rides available. If you haven't already, again, don't believe what I'm saying, go ahead and test ride the motorcycles yourself. Everyone's going crazy about them, myself included. But yeah, let's just see what the Conti can do today. Alright, let's ride. Well, this seating position is much more aggressive than I thought it would be. Foot pegs are pretty high.
Like when I ride this, I have my friends, and what happens is my arm gets stiff while turning the bike. So like, what do you do to?
So you see this part over here on the tank. Yeah. Both your legs should be holding the tank like this. Ride first without holding it, and your hand there. You'll notice there's a lot of pressure on it. The moment you squeeze your legs onto the tank, automatically all of that goes away from it. So try it out now as well. Odometer, trip A, trip B. Nothing fancy, that a fuel indicator, an RPM gauge that begs you to go higher and higher, and a speedometer that, well, encourages you to be a little insane. Now, I think one thing I forgot to mention about the Interceptor yesterday was how easily it was to adapt to that whole riding position, and how quickly I could get familiar with that motorcycle. For those of you who've had a chance to ride an array of motorcycles, you'd know that it takes you a bit of time to get used to a new bike, to get accustomed to the ergonomics, and to be confident to start pushing it to its limits. The Interceptor is probably one bike which took me the shortest time to get used to. That, and I think the TVS RTR 200 probably would be the other closest comparison I'd have when it comes to getting customized to the riding position. The Continental GT, on the other hand, seems to be a lot more aggressive than I thought it would be. The foot pegs are a little more in front than I would have liked them to be. I think if they were a couple of inches behind, it would have made this bike a little more comfortable. I know that sounds strange, but coming from an RC390 to this, and I guess it's me because I'm accustomed to the RC390 riding position, that's how I feel. But I guess someone who hasn't had a chance to ride a motorcycle like the RC390 and then come directly to this, I'm not sure, they'd probably be a little more happy with this riding position. Alright, we just touched the highway now. Time to open up the throttle and see what these bikes can really do and get some wind through these nuts. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the character of this engine. While it has a counterbalancer which smoothens out most of the vibrations, there is still that distinct grunt which it has, which still lets you know that you're riding a Royal Enfield. And I know I'm no one to say that because I've not had a chance to ride and experience Royal Enfields as much as some of you watching this video would have. But when you ride the motorcycle yourself, you'll actually understand what I'm talking about. It has this understated refinement, but still has that grunt which I think most of you Royal Enfield enthusiasts would love. I think it's a step in the right direction, and I'm sure you guys would agree as well. Now, I've always liked the look of a cafe racer. It's always had its own appeal. In fact, before I bought the RC390, I had tested out the original Continental GT 535, and I was actually very interested in buying it. Unfortunately, I was only given a test ride which allowed me to take 4 corners, 4 left turns that is, around the showroom and then come back. And I never got a chance to ride it any further than that. They weren't willing to give me a test ride, even though I was at that time considering buying the motorcycle. Life has changed quite a bit after that, hasn't it? Again, here the law says speed limit's 30, no overtaking and no using your cell phones. I guess it gives you time to appreciate the beauty of this bridge and the one they're constructing next to it, which looks massive. Never really noticed that before. Yeah, you see a lot of people using their cell phones here in Goa while driving. I guess there's open roads and people think that they don't need to pay as much attention as necessary, but if you know me, you know I'm against that. So these are where the casinos and whatnot are. A very expensive place to live in Goa, but a beautiful place as well. I couldn't emphasize more on how surprised I am that this is a Royal Enfield I'm on right now, with the riding experience that it provides. I am glad that someone from the Indian market has taken this initiative to get a twin cylinder out at the price they have, because it's just blown the market open, hasn't it? Everyone has to rethink and go back to the drawing board now, especially when it comes to pricing. Yeah, I honestly thought that I would prefer the Continental GT 650 over the Interceptor 650, but as things stand today, I prefer the Interceptor over this. I mean, yes, this is a brilliant bike, it handles well, it looks beautiful, and it does everything the 650 can do. But the 650 does that with a lot more grace and a lot more ease on your body. And I know it's an easier handling motorcycle, it's an easier motorcycle for me to live with, if I were to buy one, that is. Who would I recommend this bike to? Well, if you're someone who just enjoys the weekend ride and the thrill of opening the throttle out on the highway, then the Continental GT 650 would probably suit your needs. The Interceptor, on the other hand, is a more user-friendly motorcycle and something which you can use day in, day out without stressing out your arms, your wrists, your back too much. Hey, but don't get me wrong, this is a hoot as well. So the actual Donna Paula is pretty close by from here. It's pretty close by from here, Donna Paula. So what we can do is we can ride this way, look at what opportunities are there to click pictures, and then come back and actually click those pictures. So we'll find our perfect spot. It's a very nice place. Again, I think you'd be able to cruise with these motorcycles at speeds of 100 plus very easily throughout the day. In fact, without really stressing the engines out. If anyone's concerned about the motorcycles overheating, we've not had any issues over the last 2 days riding it through what has been a pretty hot experience in Goa. And while the engine is air and oil cooled, I don't think there has been any issue which any of us have experienced when it comes to the motorcycle overheating. These little contraptions that they've added to the motorcycle as well kind of make it easy for us to not have our legs touch the engine head. Could you take your car a little ahead? We just want to click a picture with this cannon in the background, yeah? Thank you. Now this brings us to the end of our time with the Royal Enfield 650 Twins. What an experience it's been. Before yesterday and today, the only Royal Enfield motorcycle that I enjoyed riding was the BS4 Himalayan, which was a brilliant leap ahead from the BS3. Now I think that bar has been raised pretty high when it comes to my expectations from Royal Enfield, and for that matter from 650 parallel twin cylinder engines. We may get another motorcycle from Royal Enfield to enjoy our time here during Rider Mania, but that's not confirmed. They said it's subject to availability of motorcycles. Either way, our time on two wheels here has been enjoyable, and it's all because of the team that managed to put together these wonderful machines. I'm super stoked to be attending Rider Mania as well after this, and that should be an interesting event considering what I've been hearing from everyone that has attended it previously. That's pretty much all I had for today. Thank you again so much for watching the video. If you liked what you saw, don't be stingy, give the video a thumbs up. If you did not, let me know about it in the comment section. As always guys, at least wear your helmets while riding your motorcycles, and ride safe. It's a freaking jungle out there. Goodbye.